Hey, it's Lindsay from Buy Sell Love Durham. Really stoked about today's video, and it's about renters becoming owners. Now, if you like the content of these videos, click the subscribe button that come out every week. And they're based on factual information that I've gleaned over selling real estate for 39 years locally. So when I started selling real estate, it was way easier for young people to get into houses, but it's become a bit more challenging because the rates are up and the values are up. So one of the things that I had happen years ago was I had one of my clients reach out to me, and she had bought a property, a semi-detached home with a friend of hers. They lived in it for 3 years, and her friend ended up buying her out. She took the money and had enough money to use as a down payment on a property. So that's what we're covering in today's video. So my son rents an apartment with a friend, and they share the costs. So a one-bedroom basement apartment right now is about $2,100, and if you add the utilities to it, that's in and around that $2,100, $2,200 if you want something nice. A two-bedroom is about $2,400. So if you just kind of stop and think about this, my son, if he lives in that house for 3 years, what he's doing is he's paying 3 years principal off on his landlord's mortgage. So let's see if we can flip that around to say, how could my son or any young person buy a property, and they're the ones that take advantage of that equity pay down. So let's assume that you bought two people bought a $600,000 house. So instead of renting, you've got two young people that join forces and buy a property. So the issues are down payment. So on a $600,000 property, the down payment would be $60,000 or $30,000 each. And if they did that, the mortgage payment and the insurance payment would come in around $4,000 a month. Pretty much what they would be paying for rent. $2,000 each a month. So it's almost exactly what they're paying for rent. Now the issues are this. They have to make about $75,000 a year each to qualify for that mortgage, have little debts or no debts, and they have to be able to come up with $30,000 each. Now, what's the upside on this? If they hold the property for 3 years, again, $600,000 property, they're putting 10% down of $60,000 down, they're going to end up knocking $40,000 off the principal of that mortgage. And let's assume that the mortgage or the value of the property goes up about 5% a year, which is very conservative. That means that before they sell it, they've got basically $200,000 of equity built into the property. So their $30,000 investment each person would net them out $100,000. That would be a good start to get into a property on their own. The other thing that I found too is this. Sometimes parents want to help their kids out. So instead of having a co-borrower, so you have two people living in a house, you could buy a condo and the parent could go on with half of the ownership. So the parent's half owner, the child's half owner, or the young buyer's half owner. And then what they do is the parent ends up putting a small mortgage on their house to use as a down payment. In that case, you've got the equity coming from the parent's house, and you've got the young borrower doesn't have to qualify for that high income because the parent's helping out in the income qualification. And at the end of the 3-year period or 5-year period, they can share that wealth, the increase in value, whatever the way they want. But it's a great way of getting your foot in the door. If you've got any questions, shoot me a comment on the YouTube comment section. Catch me on any of my social media platforms. I'm more than happy to help you out if you are a first-time buyer and you're looking for creative ways of getting into the property. Have a great week.